Do you want to learn how to make this easy coconut curry fish and also boiled and fried cassava? Stay tuned and see how I make these two easy dishes. So I'm starting off by peeling the cassava. This is how I learned to make this back in the day. You just make a deep cut into the cassava all around like I'm doing here, and it will be easy to peel off the skin. And now you just peel the skin off, and I'm going to cut this up in cubes and boil it in some salted water. Once this is all boiled and soft, you put a fork in it and you'll see that it's soft. I put in some butter, and I'm going to add in some oil just so that the butter won't burn. Now I put in some onions and some garlic, and I'm just going to saute these for about a minute because you don't want the garlic to start burning. Once I'm done doing that, I'm going to put in some pimento peppers. And I also put in some hot pepper, which is optional. So once that is sauteed for another 1 minute, I'm going to add in my scallions or green onions. And I'm also going to add in some tomatoes. These tomatoes that I have was frozen, so you can use fresh tomatoes or you can use canned tomatoes. It's all up to you what you have at hand. So now I'm going to just season this up with some salt and pepper. If you guys are interested in my salt and pepper grinder, I will leave a link in the description for that. So now I'm going to put in some green seasoning. I will leave the recipe for this green seasoning, the link for it, in the description. I have this on my channel. So once all these are all mixed in and sauteed really nice and soft, I am going to add in my cassava or yuca. This is like one of the tastiest dishes I've ever had. It is just so tasty, well seasoned. It's just the best. And you can do this boil and fry with dumplings, you can do it with yam, you can do it with eddos, you can do it with any type of provision that you have. So I'm just seasoning it up with salt to taste, and this is pretty much done. Once you put your salt and your pepper, you taste it to see if you want any more hot pepper in there or whatever. You just put it in a dish and that's it. It will be done. You know, I'm just sprinkling some cilantro in there. I didn't have any more cilantro because I put all in my green seasoning, so I'm using cilantro, but you can use cilantro or bandania. They're all in the same family, so the taste is the same to me. Bandania has a stronger taste, but the cilantro tasted really well in it also. So if you only have cilantro, it's fine, you can use that. So this is pretty much done. So now I'm going to work on the coconut curry fish. Wash my fish in lemon, and now I'm seasoning it up. I have two fishes here that I cut in half. These are croakers. They were kind of big, so I cut them in half to make it easier. So I'm seasoning it with some salt and pepper, and then I'm going to add in all the other ingredients. I'm going to add in some green seasoning, Because this fish I'm gonna fry it, so I want it to have like flavor in it before I fry it. So I'm putting in some green seasoning, then I will add in some garlic powder, onion powder, and I'm also going to add in some Old Bay seasoning and lemon pepper seasoning. I just like those in seafood. Right now I'm adding in some dry thyme. The green seasoning has thyme in it, but I'm adding in some extra thyme in there for some more flavor. So that's the garlic powder and the onion powder. With the Old Bay and the lemon pepper, it's all up to you. If you have any other type of seafood seasoning that you want to put in your fish, you can do that. I just love those two in my seafood dishes, so that's why I'm using those. I'm giving it a little mix, and then I'm going to add in the Old Bay and the lemon pepper. As I said, if you don't want to use these, it's all up to you. And you can do this, you can use any type of fish that you desire. I use the croaker. This is my first time using croaker. I didn't really like it because I have a lot of bones, and I don't like fish with a lot of bones. So you can use whatever fish you desire for this recipe. I have a fry snapper and a baked snapper recipe on my channel. I will leave the link for that also. So now I'm going to cover this and let it marinate for about an hour, and you can do it for an hour till overnight, but make sure it's like an hour because you want that seasoning to soak in before you fry it. So right now I have a Ziploc bag here. I have some flour, some cornmeal, and I have some garlic powder, onion powder, lemon pepper, and Old Bay in there. You can and also salt and pepper, not too much because the fish is already seasoned, so you don't want to put too much salt in there, just enough to flavor the fish. So this makes it a lot cleaner and easier to handle. So I just put it in the bag and just shake it up, and this will help, you know, the fish to get nice and coated. As I say, if you don't want to use cornmeal, you can use just flour and season up the flour. Again, it is all up to you. I will leave all the measurements in the description for the flour, breading, for the fish, for everything. You will have all the measurements in the description. So now I'm going to start frying this. I put some oil in my pot, and I let it heat up. And I put the fish in there and fried it until it's golden brown. You don't have to fry this all the way because it still has to go in that fish in the curry sauce and it will boil a little in there, so the cooking process will finish once it's in the curry sauce. So you don't have to stress over it being 100% cooked at this point. So I just fried it until it's golden brown, and then I will continue on my frying, and then I will show you how I made my curry sauce. I'll start on the curry sauce. So I have a hot pot here, and I'm adding in some oil. I am using grapeseed oil. You can use whatever oil that you desire. And once the oil is hot, I'm gonna add in some onions. And I'm going to saute this onion for about 1 minute, and after that is sauteed and mixed up, I'm going to add in some cumin or jeera seeds. And as I say, all these measurements will be in the description. So we're going to toast this for about a minute, and once this is nice and toasted, I'm going to add in the garlic. And that's some grated garlic. You can chop it up if you like. And I also put in some pimento peppers and some hot peppers. So I'm going to saute this again for another minute, and then I'm going to add in my curry powder, and then I'm going to add in the jeera powder. I'm going to add in some ancha masala and a little turmeric. So you're gonna mix this up really well and let it cook. You're just pretty much frying this up, and you want it to get to a thick paste. Once it gets to that point, you're gonna add in the coconut milk. So this is fresh coconut milk. I blended it in my blender, and I'm just extracting the milk from it. So I put it in my strainer here, and I'm just squeezing all the coconut milk out of it. So I added water. I added a little more water to get all of that milk out. Fresh coconut milk is so much better. It just gives this fish just a kick that you will never imagine. Like, it's just so nice. Like, it's so much better than the canned coconut milk. But again, you can use the can if you prefer, but for me, I love using fresh as much as I can. So I'm just going to squeeze out all of the milk from that, and then I'm going to season this up, and I'm going to let this come up to a boil. So I'm going to add in the leftover marinade from the fish to help season this up. And then I'm going to adjust the salt and the black pepper. If you want to add more hot pepper at this point, this is where you're going to like really flavor this up. I always add in a tip of sugar in my curry. That helps bring in my flavors. That's for me. That's optional. It's up to you if you want to do that, but I just put a little tip out in there, like half of a teaspoon, and it really brings the flavors in. So right now I'm adjusting the salt and tasting and seasoning up, adding, you know, whatever is needed. And after this comes up to a boil, I'm going to add in my fried fish. At this point, I'm also adding in some dry thyme. Fresh thyme is always better. As I said, fresh is always better, but this is what I have at the moment. My green seasoning has thyme in it, so it's fine. but fresh thyme is always better. So I'm just putting in the fish in there, and we're gonna just let all of this boil up together. I'm gonna lower the heat to a medium because you don't want the fish to start falling apart. You just want it to soak in all those flavors from the curry sauce, and you want the curry sauce to thicken up a little. So you'll see how thick it's gonna get. So right now I'm adding in some green onions and some cilantro. As I said, you can add in bandania or culantro. I'm using cilantro today because that's what I have. And you're gonna just let all of this just simmer. I'm gonna cover the pot and let this simmer, and I let it simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes because I want the fish to finish cooking, and also I want it to just absorb all those flavors from the curry sauce. So right now I'm basting the fish with the curry sauce, and this is almost done. You see it's thickening up. So you will see how thick it's gonna get. Like some people like it like this. This is gonna be pretty much done for some people, because if you like a lot of gravy, like on your provision or on your dumplings or whatever, this at this point this is good. But for me, I want it to thicken up a little more, so that's why I'm leaving it for a few more minutes. But as I said, it's done cooked, it's already flavored, it's already seasoned, the fish is already cooked, so this is done. This could be done, in fact. So for me, this is done. You see, it's a lot thicker and the sauce looks so much more richer. So this, at this point, this is done for me. So I'm going to plate this up, and you're going to see how delicious this meal look. I mean, this thing was so tasty with the coconut milk and the fish and just the seasoned cassava. This was a real nice dish. So I really hope that you guys try this recipe. All the stuff that I use will be in the description, all of the measurements for the recipe. I will also leave the links for my green seasoning, and everything that I used will be here. For the salt and pepper grinders and everything will be in the description. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this recipe. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. And always remember, my food is cooked with passion and served with love. God bless. Bye. Look at that nice thick curry sauce.